Good afternoon and welcome to Elliott Field on the campus of Fitchburg State University, where today the Falcons of Fitchburg State University play host to the Rams of Framingham State. It's College Football Saturday on FATV. I'm John Gergety, joined, of course, by Dan Bolak. And Dan, seems to be well, first of all, I suppose we should discuss why we're starting so late here. It is going to be a bit of a delayed start. Kickoff scheduled for 12:15 here at Elliott Field.
Yep, Framingham did have some bus issues. One of their buses just broke down. And so although one side of the team came, the other side was significantly delayed. But they're here now, and they're ready to play.
All of the Rams are present. They will take on the Falcons of Fitchburg State. Fitchburg State comes in with the record 0-5 on the season, 0-3 in the conference. Last week here on FATV, it was a 38-14 loss to Bridgewater State. But really, Dan, if you just look at that scoreline, 38-14, I think the Falcons played a little better than that.
Yeah, but considering the previous year, they lost 82-0 to that same Bridgewater State team. Yeah, they definitely showed a lot of encouragement in steps forward. Rocky Marchitelli, 21 for 37, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. And if you take out all the sacks, he had 9 carries for 70 yards. So he was looking comfortable with the football as well. Oreo Akite Fatoki had 80 yards on the ground. Matty Aguirre, 7 catches for 79 yards. Elijah Zaire McKnight and P.J. Norton had touchdown catches. And Cameron Topkin with 13 tackles. There were encouraging signs to see out of the green and gold last week.
And that's really been a theme, Dan, over the course of this entire season for Fitchburg State. Still looking to reverse that losing streak, third longest in the nation now. 14 consecutive losses for Fitchburg State. But honestly, if they keep playing as well as they have, they've had the lead in every game this season. I don't know if this counts as a hot take. Fitchburg State is not going winless this year.
I think there's a realistic chance they can find a win somewhere. The conference has been down as a whole this year, and they're playing Plymouth State, who comes into this week winless as well, and with a WestCon team that shockingly dispatched previously undefeated UMass Dartmouth by 31 points last Saturday.
And hey, point of order, the score in the football game we're about to play is currently 0-0. You're starting from scratch.
Every single week. And this Framingham State team, they've struggled a little bit. They're 2-2, 2-1 in the MASCAC. Last year, a 500 record after they'd been cream of the crop for years. And they have struggled with the quarterback play. They had 4 different quarterbacks rostered who combined in their first 2 games to go 12 for 46 for 134 yards and 7 picks, to the point where E.J. Nichols, who was a wide receiver by trade, was converted to quarterback. And they've had him as their quarterback the last 2 games of the season. Nichols is a dynamic player and one to watch. It's just a matter of they had so much trouble getting the ball in his hands, they just have to snap it to him now.
Evokes memories of Jeremy Kimber. We remember the Jeremy Kimber years here at Fitchburg State.
Yes, we do. But at least he was a quarterback by trade in high school.
That's true.
Perhaps E.J. Nichols was as well.
Rams have won the toss and deferred, so we'll see the Falcon offense first here on College Football Saturday from Elliott Field.
See the captains at midfield. Elijah Zaire McKnight, Matty Aguirre, and Cam Annette for the Falcons. And for the Rams, Brian Callery, Devon Ford, and Chase Bono. And I don't think Bono is wearing regulation pants.
Yeah, no. Given the lack of pads and also the track pants, I don't think we'll be seeing much of Chase Bono, the senior safety from Lynn. Was talking with one of the Rams coaches before the game. They've had a number of players go down with injury. It has been a struggle for Framingham State. Lost their first 2 games, those being out of conference matchups, but winners of 2 in a row since resuming conference play. So they'll look to go to 3-2 on the season. Fitchburg State looking for their first win. We'll step aside for the national anthem, but be right back. It's College Football Saturday here on FATV. College Football Saturday here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined as always by Dan Bolak. Falcons getting ready to take on the Rams of Framingham State University. I almost said Fitchburg State, which would have been wrong, and I was wrong when I said that Framingham State had lost both of their out-of-conference games.
Yep, the second out-of-conference game was against a team called Bye.
See.
Yep, they only played.
They're not good. They never win.
No, but they don't lose either.
That's true. They don't win, they don't lose. They do go both ways. They're bye. Anyway, Falcon offense will get the ball to start. They are in the green jerseys, green pants, and green helmets. A lot of green for the green and gold. Makes sense. Framingham State in the all-white jerseys and pants with black numbers and helmets. A very monochrome look for the Rams.
They play in grayscale when it comes to football. But they are sharp jerseys, and they're very readable.
This is true. This is what you look for. Black text on a white background. There's a reason that's your word processor, folks. It looks good. People can see it.
Tyler Drynan set to kick off for the Rams. He's averaging 53 yards a kick off the tee this year. Ball set at the 40-yard line. Not quite on the X, but you can place it wherever you want.
Saw Jalen Miller set back deep to return for the Falcons. And here with the first quarter play-by-play is Dan Bolak.
Looks like they try to split it right down the middle. It'll come to Jordan Cummings. He'll take it in at the 10-yard line. Cummings going to the far side hashes, trying to make a cut, but wrapped up by a couple of different Rams. Give credit to that to Jeffrey Prophet and Augustus Granada.
Falcon offense takes the field for the first time this season. Rocky Marchitelli coming off, I've got to say, Dan, his most impressive performance, at least from what we've seen on FATV. Again, 263 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. Also had 70 yards with his legs after you take out the sacks. Overall on the season, Marchitelli just a hair shy of 850 yards passing. 4 touchdowns against 7 interceptions.
Some of that's just a matter of he's a freshman growing into his role as a starting quarterback. And another part of it is the amount of time that he's able to get on the line. And I want to see how this Falcon line can play against Framingham today. First down, it's play action. Hit as he throws, floats up in the air and will fall harmlessly to the turf. Incomplete.
Might have been looking for Sahir Gomez. Was running the deep post corner. Pretty good coverage downfield by the Rams, but the pass interfered with as it got there, so fortunately falls to the turf incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Falcons.
We saw last week late in the game against Bridgewater, the Falcons had gotten into a habit of just giving it to Fatoki on first down over and over again. That time they faked the handoff to Fatoki, and this time they actually give the ball to Fatoki. He'll be spun down at the 25-yard line. It's going to be a small gain, 1 yard, brings up a 3rd and 9.
Sean Ash made first contact with Fatoki. He's a sophomore from Framingham.
Didn't have to go too far for school.
No, he did not. Take another look at it here. Try to go behind the left guard, but Ash is right there. Credit as well to Tyrese Herring, the freshman from Delray Beach, Florida. He went just a bit further for his post-secondary education.
Marchitelli now stepping up, looking to try to run with it. Broke out of a couple of tackles, and he's got a lot of space in front of him to the 30 to 35-yard line, and he will have the first down.
Marchitelli was dead to rights in the open field, but he made his man miss, got the first down. Take another look at this one, Dan. This is all on the freshman Rocky Marchitelli. And we've talked about, that's the move I was talking about right there. But we've discussed, Dan, how early in the season it looked like Marchitelli would think about running and then think about throwing and not be decisive. That time, as soon as he felt the pressure, he decided, I'm going to tuck this ball and run with it. He committed to that decision. He was able to make something happen. That's the kind of development you want to see from your freshman quarterback.
On first down, it's a throw over the middle, in and out of the hands of Aguirre, and will fall incomplete. Just a quick bullet pass, and Aguirre not quite ready for it.
Again, a first down play where the Falcons don't just hand it off up the middle. You've got to mix up the play calling. This time they split out Easy McKnight. They go empty backfield. I think this was actually a pretty well-delivered ball, maybe a bit high. Aguirre just really well defended and couldn't pull it in. Credit to Donald Najam on the defense there for the Rams.
2nd and 10 out of the shotgun. 3 receivers to the far side. Marchitelli's looking there, sees the pressure, now rolls, and he's going to be wrapped up and sacked. Jared Martino, the leading tackler on the Rams, gets his 4th and a half sack of the season.
Martino, the senior from Malden, burst through. See him right there on the right side of your screen. He's going to come in from the right. He just brings down Marchitelli from behind. Herring got up in front of him as he was getting ready to throw the ball. That forced Marchitelli from the pocket, and then Martino chased him down.
Martino had a number of tackles last week, 7 all solo. Add to his account there, now 13 tackles for a loss in the season. It'll be a handoff to Elijah Zaire McKnight on 3rd and long, just trying to get to the flank and get some space. It's a solid run on 3rd down, but it's not going to get back to the original marker on 1st and 10. It'll go to the 33-yard line. The Falcons will have to punt here.
Knight looks a little shaken up on the near sideline, Dan.
We know that he's had some issues with injuries this year. He didn't play in the first couple of games, has not played that well. That's one of those cases where with Elijah Zaire McKnight, they've been trying to use him really when they most need him. Back to return for the Rams would be Joshua Medina, the former Fitchburg Red Raider. Penalty against the Falcons, it appears.
False start.
Dead ball. False start. 5-minute offense. Down is still 4.
Joseph Ball is our referee today, and he has the call.
So Joshua Medina, the freshman, we'll take another look at the false start here. You can see right there on the right side of the line, just mistimed the snap count. It happens. You lose 5 yards when it does, but it's not the end of it.
I tell you, Medina was a great kick returner for the Red Raiders when he was here in Fitchburg. And there's a great kick there by McDonald. Medina will haul it in at the 35-yard line, and he's not going to play around there. A solid punt by the punter and junior Ryan McDonald. We've seen him have a pretty solid leg getting the ball downfield, even under duress.
It was a little dicey for McDonald earlier in the season, but as it's gone on, Dan, especially, again, last week, pretty impressive game for him, and that continues here. You know, especially after the penalty and the sack, there was a real chance with a bad punt there. Rams would have had excellent field position. As it is, though, they're at their 35-yard line.
I see E.J. Nichols out of the shotgun. Again, a converted wide receiver from New Jersey. He's got Devon Ford to his left, and Ford will take the handoff on 1st down. He's wrapped up pretty quickly. Looks like Jan Valls broke into the backfield to get the first contact. Just a gain of a couple of yards, well, for 6 yards. Didn't look like a whole lot at first, but that just looked deceptive to me. Valls and Gabe DaCosta were the first 2 to arrive to make that tackle.
It was really good second effort by Ford. The initial hit came just a couple of yards downfield, but he kept his legs moving, turned, fell forward, and was able to pick up a few more.
It'll be Ford again, right side, trying to dive into the line. You can see the second effort, the thrust forward, gets a few extra yards. That definitely gets them over the line to gain on the 45. 1st down for the Rams. Devon Ford in 4 games this year, 556 yards on the ground. It's 139 a game.
Falcon defense without one of the starters. Jan Valls is already on the sideline. Looks like he's favoring his right leg. We'll keep an eye on him as well.
1st and 10, 52 yards from goal are the Rams. And Ford will go right up the middle. First gets tackled right onto Brian Callery, then onto the ground. It's another gain of 5 yards for the senior from Mashpee. Another drive up the middle. Vaughn Ford, a former Mashpee Falcon, so a former Falcon taking on a team of Falcons.
Hey, how about that?
2nd and 5 from the 47-yard line. Get out of the shotgun, and this time Nichols will scramble back and really under pressure quickly. Gets a solid throw off on the right side. That is going to be caught. Jaden Lewis with the catch, the sophomore from Fall River, will earn a first down for Framingham State.
E.J. Nichols did not look like a converted wide receiver on that play. He was under pressure pretty soon after he got the snap. Isaiah Johnson breathing down his neck, but he was able to maintain his composure, roll to his right, and find the open receiver Lewis for a nice gain and a first down.
You can see Tom Kelly there, longtime head coach for the Rams, also even longer time athletic director for Framingham. We have a timeout. .9:33 to go in the first quarter, no score. And let's take a moment to thank our FATV underwriters.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions for the 2023 sports season are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Leominster Credit Union, the Sentinel Enterprise, and Minuteman Press.
Falcons called the timeout with 9:33 to go in the first.
We want to extend our thanks to those businesses you just saw mentioned for their underwriting support. And hey, if you want to join them, be an underwriter of Fitchburg Access Television Productions, just go to fatv.org.
Rams back on the field. This looks like a different formation on first down.
Different formation, different quarterback. They go with the I formation.
And ultimately, it's a handoff to Ford. He didn't like what he saw up the middle, so he'll come out to the near side, and he's going to love what he sees when he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. A 37-yard run by Devon Ford opens the scoring for Framingham.
The Rams brought in Terry Smith, the grad student from Seekonk, to take the snap under center, and all he had to do was give it to number one and see what happens. Didn't like the right side, bounced out to the left, and there was nothing but field turf between him and the end zone.
5th touchdown run of the season for Devon Ford. Matt Farley will be on to attempt the extra point. Perfect thus far in this campaign. It's a little dicey, but it'll get through the uprights nonetheless. 9:24 to go in the first quarter. The Rams lead 7-0.
Framingham State had a lot of success on the ground there, Dan. I believe they only went to the air one time. Nichols did complete that pass for a first down, but other than that, it was just hand the ball to Devon Ford, get behind that big offensive line, and they moved down the field very quickly.
Devon Ford, 4 carries on that drive for 55 yards. Absolute weapon for the Rams, 5'10", 190 pounds, and a lot of experience. Last week against Plymouth State, he had 28 carries for 208 yards and 3 touchdowns. A little surprised he was named the MASCAC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that good? That sounds good.
A lot of running backs wish they had days like that. Tyler Drynan set to kick it away. Jalen Miller joined by a different Falcon to take it back. Richard Santana will take it in, another former Red Raider for Fitchburg High School. Bring it to the 25, still running parallel to the 25, trying to find that opening, but Momo Nazaire finds him first.
A lot of running around for Santana, but as you said, Dan, most of it was parallel to the yard markers. Wasn't able to get upfield.
I was going to say there, now we've gotten 100% of the Fitchburg Red Raiders into this contest.
Okay.
Ultimately, with forward progress, they will give him to the 20-yard line, where the Falcons will start this drive, trailing by 7. First time in a while they didn't get the first strike in this contest. They had the first possession. Let's see what they do with this one. It is a handoff to Wario Kite Fatoki on first down, trying to get to that left side of the line, but he's not able to avoid the grasp of Kevin Paniagua.
Paniagua, the junior from Lynn, just wrapped up Oreo with TK Fatoki. Taking another look at it. Just grabs him right there, and he is not going to refuse. He's not going to let him go until Fatoki is thrown down to the turf.
Paniagua with 10 tackles in the season coming into today. Add one to his account. 2nd and 10 for the Falcons. 3 receivers and a bunch on the near side, and Marchitelli immediately under pressure and taken right to the turf. There's Jared Martino again with another sack.
And you see him, he's counting. That's number 2. Oh, and Rocky Marchitelli not coming out of that at 100%. You see him favoring, now grabbing at that left leg. Never want to see your starting quarterback in pain like that.
Yeah, on that last play, it looked like Martino broke into the backfield very quickly. Marchitelli didn't really have a chance to do much of anything before he was taken to the ground.
We'll take another look at the replay.
Him taken down in kind of a weird manner as well. Ryan McDonald also down there holding, although he's back up now, and now Marchitelli is as well, but he is going to be helped off, which is not going to help matters for the Falcons.
I think Martino might have just landed on him. I was looking for like a twist or a plant or something, and I didn't really see anything. Here it is from another angle. He may have gotten run into by McDonald, actually, because his left leg goes up as Martino is hitting him, and then McDonald is driven into the raised leg of Marchitelli. So, again, I'm just, judging based on the camera shots that we have. That could be what happened. Obviously we'll keep an eye on the Falcons sideline, but again, a very, very dicey moment to see your promising freshman quarterback helped off the field, barely able to put any weight at all on that left leg.
So the Falcons will have to bring in Dylan Cosner, the junior from Endicott, New York. He's 6 for 15 through the air this season. He has 3 carries for 10 yards as well. Obviously has that experience at quarterback. A quick throw out to the far side, wanted Quincy Taylor, but the defense comes immediately from Devin Johnson. The freshman from Franklin gets his 3rd pass breakup of the year.
Backup quarterback comes in, 1 incomplete pass, and it'll be a punt for the Falcons. Fitchburg State defense is really going to want to stop here. Rams are most likely going to have very good field position, and they smell blood in the water.
Medina standing 1 yard short of midfield. Waiting on McDonald. He gets the snap. Now he gets that punt off high in the air, and Medina again will not take any chances there. Guess as well with the placement of where that punt was going to land, only had to take a couple steps back, and it will be at least on the Framingham side of the field, 48 yards from their own goal line, 52 to go for the Rams. With 7:51 to go in the first quarter, they lead 7-0.
Another good punt by McDonald, pushing the Rams back as far as he could. Now E.J. Nichols comes back in at quarterback. Rams they're gonna mix it up. It's probably gonna be Nichols from the shotgun and Smith when they go under center. Again, as you said, Dan, E.J. Nichols converted from wide receiver early this season. This is just his 3rd start at quarterback for the Rams.
With an empty backfield on first down, Nichols is going to try to run with it himself, going to the far side boundary. Awkwardly pushed out of bounds there, a couple Falcons sliding. It is a solid result for the Falcons defense on that unconventional first down play. A gain of 1 yard, and already the rain comes right in. A burst of sprinkles from the sky, as the sun's trying to fight the clouds to come out today.
I was going to say, Dan, I think it rained over there. It's not raining over here.
2nd and 9, but we have whistles. Considering where Framingham's going, they expect they're the guilty party.
Dead ball. False start. Number 7 on the offense. Down is 2.
Alex Maya, the guilty party.
And behind him, you can see everybody setting up for the next play. You don't want to snap the ball. We're still trying to give us the signal on that.
That would be dangerous.
2nd and 14.
2nd and 14.
Same formation, 2 receivers to the near side. It's a handoff to Ford. Now it's just a matter of trying to catch Ford. Breaks off of 1 tackler there. Another one, and now finally taken down as he crosses midfield to the 45-yard line. Gets most of the yards he needs, all but 3 it looks like. 3rd and a manageable 3 for the Rams upcoming.
Fitchburg's defense had to be confident after the good stop on 1st down and then the penalty. But here comes Devon Ford undoing all that good, just running through tackles, escaping the arm tackle. You're not going to get him down that way. Finally tries to hurdle a Falcon and is taken down, but not before he picks up 11 yards, makes it 3rd down and 3.
Line up right in front of us on the 45-yard line. Another handoff to Ford on 3rd down. He's all reliable. He'll get the 1st down as he breaks out to the far side, trying to find some space there. Taken down at the 33-yard line, but give him another 1st down.
Just tremendous play from Devon Ford. He's got the explosion, he's got the speed, he's got the vision to see the holes as they're forming, even downfield running into the open field. Just a tremendous 1st quarter for Devon Ford.
Already at 78 yards on the ground today. That's most of the offense for the Rams, all about 11 yards. 1st and 10, 33 yards from goal. Again out of the shotgun. 1 receiver on each side, 2 tight ends. That time Ford comes to a stop, then he keeps on moving. 1 Falcon had him there, but then stopped in his tracks. Made that quick cut. What tremendous moves again by Ford.
And again, this time it's in the backfield, but he's able to make the 1st man miss. You mentioned he comes to a stop, Dan. It's because he had Cameron Topkin barreling down on him, but he was able to duck his head, slip out from under the tackle, and pick up more positive yardage.
Topkin was able to take him down there. Probably would have been a loss of a few, but instead it's a gain of 4 yards. 2nd and 6 coming. 2 receivers to the far side this time, and again it's a handoff to Ford. Protecting the football, now diving forward across the 25-yard line. It looks like he's going to be a little short of the marker. It'll be 3rd down, but not a whole lot to gain.
You know, when you're ho-hum, nothing special, oh well, we'll get him better next time run is 5 yards, you'll take that. Just look at the hole this time opened up by the Rams offensive line. Great work by Ford, great work by the guys on the line.
Tail of the ball on the 25-yard line. 4:37 to go. 1st quarter, 7-0 Framingham. Another 3rd down upcoming for the Rams. Let's give it to Ford. Give it to number 1 and see what happens.
We're used to calling that when we're calling football here in Fitchburg.
Pretty close to the line, but I think they're not spotting him as favorably as I think maybe Ford would have thought. They signal 4th down. I think he was probably just trying to aim for the 23, but ended up going to the ground short of that.
See the rain coming down really hard now. This developed quickly.
Smith is now under center. We'll see what they'll go with. It's another carry to Ford. Ooh, that 2nd effort will be the difference. They don't like it.
It's a flag on the field. Folks up here in the press box think it's going to be delay of game, which I believe would just mean no play, right?
Now you can't. The whistle came very late, basically after the play had completed.
Substitution infraction against the defense. 12 men on the field at the snap. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. The result will be a 1st down.
Well, that's a rather significantly different call than delay of game on the Rams. If the Falcons have 12 on the field, this is the end of the play afterward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't tell because you got the offense coming on, but 12 men on the field at the snap. It's a big play, Dan.
Turned it from what would have been surely a stop. Then again, maybe the extra man is what made the difference. You can never know for sure. Nichols is going to take it himself on first down, and he's in big trouble. 3 different Falcons will combine to take him to the ground.
I think the Falcons defense is starting to bring more pressure now, Dan. They realize Framingham State wants to run the ball either with the quarterback Nichols or with the running back Ford. I think we're going to see the Falcons start stacking the box. You see it here. Nichols tries to make something happen off play action, but it's a good job setting the edge, keeping contained.
Burmester and Topkin were 2 of those 3 Falcons who combine for the tackle for a loss. Rams will put 3 out to the right side, try to show a pass, but it is a run to Ford. But there's a big hole up the middle. Ford's able to get through that. Gabe DaCosta and John McGarry will combine for the tackle there.
I think this was designed to be a run off tackle to the left, Dan, but you said the hole's up the middle. Watch Ford's eyes. He sees it. Even as he's running in one direction, his head is on a swivel. He's constantly looking for a way that he can cut upfield, that he can find a bigger hole. That time he found it. Got about 8 yards, sets up 3rd and a long 3.
They're inside the 15-yard line on 3rd down. Play clock running down to 6. Get it off in plenty of time. Nichols wants to throw. He gets a quick one off to Lara. That is going to be caught. The junior from Lawrence, Manny Lara, gets his first catch of the day, and that will be good enough for a first down.
And Dan, if the Falcons are going to stack the box and bring more pressure, which I think is the way their defense is going to want to handle these Rams, it's going to be incumbent on Nichols and on the play calling to punish them for it. You see, you've got one-on-one coverage, you go play action, passes a little high, but Nichols got it there, and now it's 1st and goal.
From the 7-yard line, they'll be Ford on first down, and it's going to be the Turf Monster who takes Ford down for a loss of 3 or 4.
Okay, the Turf Monster gets the primary tackle, but I think you can give half a tackle to Christian Cordova. Take another look at it here. Cordova bursts through. At the very least, he was able to make Ford change directions. And then the Turf Monster did the primary job wrapping up. Good job, Turf Monster.
But yes, great job, though, to Cordova, though, the freshman from Middleton, New York. I did not see the contact that he made, so I didn't give him the credit. But you gave him the credit that he rightfully deserves, and that's that. Bring it back to the 11, 2nd and 14. And Nichols immediately running to the right, and now he throws against his body, finds a man, and he's going to be in for a touchdown. Silas Abney, the freshman from West Boylston, scores in the last minute of the first quarter to make it 13-0.
You got to get the tight end.
You called it, Dan. As soon as Nichols took the snap, he rolled out to his right. I thought it was just because the Falcons had a ton of pressure coming from that way, but I'm pretty sure this was designed from the jump to be just like we saw. Roll out to the right, then stop, pivot, reverse field, throw back to the left, wide open, take it in for 6.
Former West Boylston Lion. Say continues West Boylston's success, as that was not a good kick from Farley straight into the Falcon line. That's the easiest block they'll have all season.
Take another look at the touchdown. From the snap, he's rolling to his right. Might have been looking for receivers on the right side before he turned back to the left, but he did have Abney wide open. From there, he was able to get into the end zone.
For Abney, he had just 2 catches on the season, so that's his first career touchdown. Congrats to him. And just getting himself in a good spot there. There was, at the time that he caught that ball, no Falcon within a few yards of him. He had the space to work with and just one man to beat.
Now it'll be very interesting to see how the Falcon offense looks. I can tell you Rocky Marchitelli is sitting on the trainer's table. He has his helmet off. I don't think that's the look of a man who's about ready to quarterback his offense.
Line drive kick. Santana will take it in on the run on the near side. At the 20, now to the 25. Tries to cut back upfield. Runs into Desire. And 25 yards is where the Falcons will start with the ball. With 41 seconds to go in the first quarter, they trail by 13.
Looks like there's an ice pack as well wrapped around Rocky Marchitelli's left knee. So there you see him right there. Hasn't been sent to the locker room or anything, but for the time being, Rocky Marchitelli unable to continue. It is the Dylan Cosner show on offense for the Falcons.
I can tell you Andrew Novak, who's the one other listed quarterback in the roster, is wearing a bib that would imply that he may not be playing football today either. On first down, it's a roll to the near side for Oreo Akite Fatoki, who's able to get a few yards. Thus far in the game, Fatoki now up to 3 carries and 4 yards. Falcons not finding too much success on the ground, just with the one 11-yard run by Rocky Marchitelli that got a first down. Falcons are not going to snap the ball before the time expires. 1 quarter time at Elliott Field. 13-0 Framingham in front.
A really forgettable first quarter here at Elliott Field. One of the worst quarters for the Falcons we've seen this season here on FATV. But hey, it's only a quarter. Framingham State's offense, particularly Devon Ford, just tremendous work moving the football downfield. Falcon defense, aside from one stop when they had too many guys on the field, which may have been related to the stop, really hasn't been able to slow down these Rams.
Indeed, Framingham at 1 quarter with already 117 yards of offense. The Falcons on 8 from 10 plays. And they've yet to complete a pass either. The 0 for 3 thus far through the air. And the rain coming down is not going to help matters either. But then again, as I've talked about quite a bit, this is a Fitchburg State team that threw 55 times in the rain 2 weeks ago at Maritime. Curious to see how Zach Shaw will run the offense here in the second quarter. Dylan Cosner at quarterback.
Cosner, the quarterback. He does have Oreo Akite Fatoki to his left. Falcons go shotgun, 2nd down and 7. Play fake. Cosner under pressure, rolls to his left, now thinks better, tries to get rid of it to his right. They're going to say that's a live ball. There's a flag down. Whistles blow. I think we're going to get intentional grounding on the Falcon quarterback. That was clearly a forward pass. I was surprised the whistles didn't come in sooner.
Yeah, this and the substitution infraction, it feels like these whistles have been coming a little late. But nonetheless, it's still illegal conduct by the Falcon quarterback, most likely.
Intentional grounding. Offense. 5 yards from the flag. Lost the down. The down is now 3.
So 3rd down. The down counts, of course, on intentional grounding, and it's a foul from the spot of the intentional grounding. Sets up 3rd down and, let's see here, 5, 10, 15, 27? Is that about right, Dan? 3rd and 27?
Spotted at the 13-yard line ultimately.
And they need to get out to the 35, so it's only 3rd and 22. Hey, things are looking up. Costner lines up with Fatoki to his right. 2 wide receivers and a tight end for the Falcons. And it's a handoff to Fatoki straight up the middle. Just try to get a little bit of yardage for your punter. Rams won't even let the Falcons have that. Fatoki wrapped up after a gain of maybe a yard. Falcons go 3 and out again. Actually worse than 3 and out. They go 16 yards backwards and out.
Ultimately, it was a gain of 1 yard for the Framingham defense. They saw a bit of a hole in the line, and I could see a couple of those D linemen and linebackers trying to get a running start through that hole. Just a really pound in the Falcons' lack of success on this drive.
Medina sets up at the Falcon 45 to return this kick. It's a high spiraling ball. It's going to bounce at the 46 and take a Falcon roll into Framingham State territory. It's going to be dead at about the 40. Dan, it's never good when your best offensive player is your punter, but at least your best offensive player, the punter, is having a really good day.
That will be his best punt of the day. It's, I think, 48 yards this time on the kick.
That's a really good kick.
Remember there was a game, I think it was against Framingham State many years ago, where the Falcons were shut out, and they would always put on the website a picture of who was the best player, who was the feature player for the Falcons. And this was so long ago, was Lenny Masangeli that day, who was the Falcon kicker and punter.
Well, yeah, that sounds about right. Falcons offense Rams offense rather back out on the field. First down handoff goes to Devon Ford, bursts through the middle. He's hit from behind, so he falls forward with the tackle. Gain of about 7 for him before he's brought down by Cam Topkin. And call it gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 for the Rams.
Remember when you said there was a brief moment that there were showers, and it's like it's only raining over there. Now I think it's raining about everywhere.
Yeah, the rain has picked up rather substantially. Plenty of umbrellas from the fans here at Elliott Field.
All our cameras have our rain jackets, I hope.
That's true. 2nd down 4 for Framingham State. Nichols takes the snap under pressure, rolls to his right. Looking downfield, he's going to heave it long. Got a man wide open. Catch is made. Was he in bounds? Yes! A big gain down the near sideline for Jaden Lewis. His 2nd big catch of the game. And again, Dan, it comes with Nichols rolling out and then chucking the ball downfield. It's a tremendous gain for Framingham State. Take a look at it again.
Honestly, at first I was thinking, man, Nichols running the football hasn't really done a whole lot for him, but he's just running to get space, and you can see that Jaden Lewis is wide open in good position, just has to keep his feet in bounds. He's able to do just that. And it's another big gain for the Rams and another first down.
Nichols hasn't gained much on the ground, but he's used his mobility for plays like this. This is an example of a mobile quarterback just reacting in the pocket. He was under pressure immediately. A more statuesque quarterback would have been hit and sacked. Nichols was able to juke and evade and deliver a pass, pick up a few yards.
Topkin had that well read, immediately burst into the backfield. And just getting a quick pass off, Lara makes the catch. A gain for a couple of yards because Nichols had to scramble back so much and starting out of the shotgun 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Good read by Topkin, though, who again is one of the Falcons' best defenders. He's already seeing a read on the near side of the line.
2nd down and 8 for Framingham State. This time it's a delayed handoff to Ford. He bursts through a tackle. Good secondary blocking. He's across the 10. Inside the 10-yard line. Mark him down at about the 7. Just like that, it's 1st and goal Framingham State.
And I kept my eyes on Topkin, see how he was going to read that one. And if Nichols had kept the football for any amount of time, he would have been sacked. But in that particular case, Ford was able to get the ball and get out of Topkin's grasp. And with the hole opened up on that left side of the line, Ford's able to get another solid run. He's over 100 yards rushing today.
Sun peeks through the clouds even as the rain continues to fall. 1st and goal Framingham from the Fitchburg 7. This time Ford on the sweep to the left, cuts up field. I don't think anybody touched him before he got in. Touchdown, Framingham State.
Just looking at him getting to that far side flank, and I just thought to myself, I can't see how they stop him.
They didn't.
He's too strong.
He's one of the fastest guys on the field. He's one of the strongest guys on the field. And at least through a quarter and 4 minutes, he's the best player on the field. Oh, by the way, he's the holder for the extra point. Farley on to attempt, looking to make good on the bad kick last time the Rams scored. This time it's a fake. Ford rolling to his right. And he will be brought down short. So the Rams try a little trickeration. Honestly, Dan, was Ford the holder before?
I wasn't sure about that.
Let's take another look at the touchdown first. Ford on a sweep to the left. This is just tremendous blocking by the Ram offensive line and then great vision by Ford. You actually see him slow down, turn upfield, identify where he's going to go, and then burst through it for the touchdown. They tried to get to a nice and, I was about to say a nice even 21, and then I realized that words have meaning, so they got to get to a more aesthetically pleasing 21, but the 2-point conversion was no good, so it is 19-0 Framingham State.
Yeah. That was interesting. I do wonder if Ford had been holding before, just for the fact, it's pretty unconventional, I think, to have a running back as a holder like that. But the thought that comes to your head is, well, if he's your holder, he can make something happen if something goes wrong.
Short kickoff. It's muffed but picked up at about the 15-yard line. Again, running parallel to the field is Santana, and again, he's going to be plowed down before he turns upward. It'll be 1st and 10 Falcons at their own 20-yard line, and it'll be more Dylan Cosner as the quarterback. Rocky Marchitelli still on the training table.
Just a matter of he keeps trying to look upfield. It's like, is there an opening here? Can I try to make a cut? Can I try to fool these players? But no one is being fooled by Framingham right now.
Cosner comes out leading the Falcon offense. They'll go 3 wide receivers. Oriol Wikite Fatoki to his right. Fitchburg State lives in the shotgun. Quick pass to the near side is complete. Try to set up the screen for Quincy Taylor. He gets out across the 20, maybe the 25. I think they're going to spot him a bit short of that. It's a gain of a few.
Taylor's the biggest target the Falcons have, 6'4", 220 pounds. Had 8 catches for 111 yards coming into today's contest. That's the first completed pass for the Falcons as well in their 5th attempt. On the other side, EJ Nichols, 5 for 5 thus far in this contest.
It's essentially just a long handoff, try to spread out the Rams' defense. Goal with that, as much as it is to gain yardage, is to just open them up in the middle so that you can go back to the run. 2nd down and 7. They go right back to the run. Fatoki tries the left side. Doesn't really get much, might have gained a yard. Jared Martino came out celebrating.
And just 3 different Rams just showing up double quick to that hole.
You see the hole, it's right there, but it closes up so quickly. Framingham State does a great job swarming to the ball. They're able to bring down Fatoki after a gain of just a yard.
Shots like a mousetrap, basically. You get to that hole and you're immediately ensnared.
3rd down 6. Rams showing pressure. Here they come. Cosner steps up, throws to the near side. It's high, floating, and incomplete. I think he was trying to find Easy McKnight, but Easy was down on the near sideline, and he is limping very badly as he makes his way to the Falcon bench.
Might have been some contact or something on the way, but regardless, he comes down to the ground, and that meant that there were 2 people who had a good chance of catching that football, and both of them were wearing white. Yeah, it just blows a tire quite badly.
That is not what you want to see. McKnight just going down. He was able to get to the sideline under his own power. We'll keep an eye on him. High snap. McDonald has to back up a little bit to get rid of it. Delivers a low spinning line drive. It's another really good punt for Ryan McDonald. This one's going to be downed at about the Framingham 32. But Dan, the Falcons in more than one way are starting to look like the walking wounded. You've got Rocky Marchitelli, your starting quarterback, who's out with an apparent knee injury. You just lost Easy McKnight with another apparent knee injury. Oh, by the way, something we haven't even mentioned because there's been so much going on is
Jordan
Cummings. He's on the training table.
He's got an ice bag on his left foot. He took the first kickoff in this contest, but Richard Santana has taken the last couple. But yeah, that's 3 really solid players for the Falcons, all sustaining injuries early on. Makes a tough task even tougher.
First down handoff for Framingham State. First carry of the day coming up along the near side. This is Joshua Ramos, the junior from Andover. He's across the 40-yard line. He's got very close to first down yardage. They are indeed going to move the chains. It's a 10-yard gain for him and a first down Rams.
Might have been that thought for a moment. What if we try not using Devon Ford as a running back? What if we try somebody else? Can we get the same success? And at least on the first run, they concluded, yeah, we can.
Yeah, so far so good. Football's a hard game. You only got so many reps. Mix it up a little.
Yep. Ford's just standing on the sideline right now with his helmet in his hand.
Give it to Ramos again. Cuts up the near sideline again. Gets very close to first down yardage again. That will be another first down Framingham State. 2 carries, 22 yards. That'll work.
Ford had 14 carries for 116 yards and 2 scores. And Tom Kelly probably thinking, yeah, don't need to waste him. It's like, I'm seeing all these he's seeing all these injuries on the Falcons side, and it's like, we can play a little more conservatively here.
It's just such a physical advantage that the Rams have, especially on the right side of the offensive line. Ramos up the middle this time, plowing through, gets across the Falcon 40 before finally being driven back. Credit for the Falcon tackle goes to Christian Cordova.
Yeah, Ramos has looked pretty explosive. He had just 9 carries coming into this contest.
That gain of 6 represents his shortest of the drive. Second down and 4, Framingham State. Play action fake. Nichols plenty of time now under pressure. Rolls to his right, looking downfield. Throws, passes caught. It's going to be a first down. There is a flag in the backfield, however. Right now it's another first down catch for Jaden Lewis, but the immediate indication is a hold against the Rams.
The one thing that can happen when someone tries to make something magical happen with their feet and extend the play for longer, and E.J. Nichols is able to do that just by his athleticism and versatility. But ultimately, a little too long and a hold.
Holding. Offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Down is 2.
Take another look at the replay here. Watch Tevin Cadet, the right tackle, right at the bottom of your screen. I think that right there might be the hold. Could also get maybe right before the pass was thrown. But the penalty is against Framingham State, so it's a 10-yard loss. It'll be second down and 13. Ball spotted right at midfield. Empty backfield, design keeper for Nichols. Great blocking. He's across the 40. He's very close to the first down marker. That's a gain of 12 for the junior QB.
Yeah, when they go empty backfield like that, I think that's got to be the expectation, is that they're going to probably run first just because Nichols has that ability to do so.
Downfield tackling really leaving something to be desired for the Falcons. Richard Santana had Nichols one-on-one in the open field, and rather than, wrap and try to drive him down, just kind of shoved him a little. Wasn't enough to knock him down. Third down and 1, and we get some whistles.
Will be a timeout.
Timeout. Framingham State.
Yep, the play clock was down to 3 seconds. So while we have a moment, we'll do an out-of-town scoreboard update. There are going to be no games I have to update you on today because this game should fall in a window that doesn't overlap with any other MASCAC games. But I can tell you, last night, Worcester State hosted Bridgewater State, fell 35-7. Bridgewater State, the only undefeated team in the conference, in conference play. They're 4-0 at their halfway mark. UMass Dartmouth will try to get some frustration out of them after losing last week at WestCon. They'll be hosting Mass Maritime at 4 o'clock. And WestCon, fresh off their victory against UMass Dartmouth, will be going up north to Plymouth, New Hampshire to take on the Panthers for a 4 o'clock start. Plymouth State still looking for their first win of the season, and Westfield State, who got in the win column last week, is off.
That Plymouth State That Plymouth State team, easy for me to say, will be the next opponent for Fitchburg State next Saturday. Fitchburg will travel to Plymouth. Then they're at UMass Dartmouth before returning here to Elliott Field Saturday, November the 4th, taking on WestCon.
So it'll be a few more weeks before we see the Falcons again. 2 road games and the bye coming up.
3rd down and a yard. Snap is over Nichols' head. He's in a lot of trouble, loses the football, looking to make something happen, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds all the way back at the Fitchburg 49-yard line. It's a loss of 12. Takes the Rams out of go-for-it territory. We'll see the Framingham State punting unit. This could have been even worse for Framingham.
Picks up there. Look at this moment here. He actually loses the football, but is able to pick it up right on the hop, almost like he's dribbling an Australian rules football. And then Cam Manette pushes him out of bounds. He'll get a TFL for that.
We'll see the punting unit for Framingham State for the first time. Tyler Drynan will kick it away, I believe. Or is that Lewis?
It's Lewis.
That is Lewis. It's a high snap that Lewis can barely handle. Left-footed kick is away, bounces at about the 25 and takes a generous roll for the Rams. It's going to be stopped at about the 15-yard line.
I think Drynan had the first couple of punts this season, but Lewis has been taking over those duties. They're only averaging about 27, 28 yards a punt, so that is actually one of those places where Framingham could stand to find some improvement.
Good result there with the kick and the roll. Falcon offense inside their 20. Still over 6 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Fitchburg State has both of their, well, 2 timeouts. I was going to say both, but they have 3, so you know what I mean. Dylan Cosner still in at quarterback. Good to see Easy McKnight back out on the field after he left with an apparent injury earlier. He'll go in motion, set up as a wide receiver. Cosner under pressure. Chucks it long, double covered, and incomplete. He overthrew McKnight. He overthrew the 2 Rams covering McKnight, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
I think you see McKnight there go in motion. Framingham's probably thinking, first off, he's going to be looking for number 3. He's going to be looking over there, and he's going to try to throw it, so we got to get to him very quickly. And Cosner, under pressure, just gets the pass off. Can't really worry so much about accuracy or how much power to put in there. Just get rid of the football. And at least he throws it in such a place that nobody could get to it. Not McKnight, not any of the Rams, not anyone.
McKnight sets up in the backfield once again here on 2nd down. He'll get the carry, cuts it to the right side. Good hole there. 1st down and a little bit more. Easy McKnight steps out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Takes a tumble for good measure. And the flag comes in. Was he assisted in that tumble? Assisted tumbling is against the rules of football, you know.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 10 on the defense. 15 yards from the dead ball spot, 1st down.
Momo Nazaire guilty of a late hit out of bounds. Let's take a look at it here. McKnight steps out right there, and Nazaire stands in the area of him. I guess maybe he pushed him.
I could see Nazaire put his hands up to his face like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. No, I think there was definite contact there. He's just not able to come to a stop quickly enough. It's pretty close, bang, bang, but they do give the flag. The Falcons will take the break and take the 15 yards.
I think the Falcons will give 5 of those yards right back. Perhaps they feel guilty.
Dead ball, false start, 56 to the offense. 5-yard penalty, down is 1.
When Ryan McDonald is not the punter, he is a lineman, and he's committed a penalty as a lineman.
See him lined up there as the left tackle, and you just mistimed the snap count. He knows it immediately. So the dead ball foul results in 1st and 10, but the foul start backs him up to 1st and 15. for Fitchburg State. Ball's at their own 39-yard line. They need to get to the Rams' 46. Play fake. Cosner looking long to his right. Gomez is there. Pass is long, incomplete, and a flag comes in from the back judge. 2 flags, in fact.
Everybody's walking forward, suspecting the DPI. In that case, there are 2 players there on Sahir Gomez, and both of them are not really letting him do anything but go forward, physically preventing him from making the moves he wants.
When you see a defender with an outstretched arm and you see an awful lot of exposed neck because Gomez's shirt is being ripped down, that's typically an indicator of a defensive foul.
There's also that.
Pass interference. Number 24 in the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Down is 1.
Devin Johnson, the freshman cornerback from Franklin, Mass., guilty of DPI. Not a spot foul as it would be in the NFL. But you see down there, you can see Gomez's shirt recovering from the pull from Johnson. Pass was just a little bit too long for him, but there was a reason for that.
That's 3 consecutive plays marred by penalty.
Falcons the beneficiaries of 2. They have 1st and 10 at the Ram 46. McKnight didn't find anything up the middle, bounced out to the right, found a little bit. Gain of a yard for him. They'll spot him down at the 45-yard line. 2nd and 9 for Fitchburg.
Jared Martino and Anderson Larosiliere combining for the tackle. Seniors from Malden and Medford, respectively. I feel those 2 are pretty close to each other.
Sounds like it.
And they are physically next to each other, too. Gain of a yard on 1st down.
McKnight remains in the backfield. Haven't seen Oreo Wakite Fatoki on this drive. Play fake. Cosner in trouble. Rolls to his left. Tries to get rid of it. Got to turn the corner, and he can't do that. He'll be dragged down back near midfield. Big number 23 for Framingham State, Donald Najam, grad student from Waltham, with the sack.
See, Cosner was in trouble pretty much immediately. He drops back, he wants to throw, he doesn't like the timing that he's got, so he tries to roll with it. There's one point where he thinks about throwing the football, but he knows it's just not going to work in his favor.
McKnight heads to the sidelines. Fatoki will check in. Play clock under 10. Falcons aren't even at the line. They're going to have to burn a timeout here or just take the delay. And they take the timeout instead.
Timeout. Fitchburg State.
Now, Dan, if this is an incomplete pass or a run into the line for nothing, there's a very good chance that we see the punting unit for the Falcons try to pin the Rams very deep in their own territory. But if you get, 5-6 yards here, set up 4th and 7, you got to go for it, right? This is 4-down territory if you get anything positive on 3rd down.
I feel like that's the line of thinking, just because of the situation as it is 19-0. The offense has had a lot of trouble getting going in this contest. 21 yards on 19 plays compared to 207 yards on 26 for Framingham. 1 for 5 on 3rd down today as well.
Dan, have you noticed Freddie's new October accessory? Well, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You've seen players wearing pink accessories. I imagine you'll see a nauseating amount of that on your NFL coverage this weekend. Freddie the Falcon has a lovely little pink bow right on the back of his head.
I saw that. It's very cute.
3rd down, 13. Cosner play fake, looks left, now looking long, floating over the middle, passes long, and it is intercepted. Picked off at the 20-yard line. Back across the 40. Still on his feet across midfield. Finally getting out of bounds is Devin Johnson, making up for that pass interference and then some. Falcons were trying to hit a home run on 3rd down, but it turned into an arm punt.
An arm punt for negative yardage after the return. It's going for that deep ball, and Framingham has done an excellent job covering receivers. It was overthrown for the intended target. And Devin Johnson able to make a tremendous run back there. His second interception of the season. The former Franklin Panther gives his side great field position, 48 yards from goal with 3:59 to play in the first half.
Framingham State set up inside Falcon territory. Devon Ford back on the field. He'll get the first down carry. He'll plow through literally half of the Falcons' defense before being tackled after a gain of 11 and a first down. So Framingham State is up by 3. They're driving. They're in Falcon territory. And oh, by the way, they're going to get the ball to start the third quarter.
It's not going well. And you can see, to make things even more discouraging for the Falcons, is that some of the best players the Falcons have on defense that he's running through. And Cameron Topkin and Sebastian Burmester and Cam Manette. He is nigh unstoppable.
Jan Val's back in the game. He left early with an injury. Nichols back to pass on first down, looking long, got a man, but the pass is incomplete. Overthrown, intended for Manny Lara. They were picking on Jan Val's. Just mentioned he had come back into the game.
Lara 5'9" against Val's is 5'5". And Nichols able to get a solid pass off, but instead Cork just a bit too much strength on that one. That's his first incompletion of the day.
See, Lara's got a step or two on Val's. Pass is just a little bit too long. But when you're running the ball so effectively, you can take those shots on first down and still be pretty confident that you're going to be okay. Second down, play fake. Pass this time for Lara is incomplete. Different defenders on him. This time it's Richard Santana with a big hit. Jarred that ball loose. Meanwhile, away from the play on the far side of the field, there's a penalty marker in the defensive backfield. Ineligible man downfield is the indication, at least, against Framingham State.
So now the question is, they want to count that play, take the incompletion, take 3rd and 10, or do you want to give them 2nd and 15? I think I take the down here.
Yeah.
Illegal man downfield. Offense. Penalty is declined. Down is now 3.
For as good as Framingham State has been at moving the ball downfield, I think it would be scarier to give them 2nd and 15 than 3rd and 10.
So I think if you give them 2nd and 15, Ford's just going to take 13 yards.
There you go. Now there's only your defense stopping him from doing that now, but you got to do that at some point. They fake the quarterback run to the right, hand it off to Ford, reversing field. What was that about your defense having to stop him from getting 13 yards? They didn't do that. Is that a mutual curse of the commentator? Did we work on that together somehow?
The curse of the commentator continues to live alive and well here in Fitchburg.
First and 10 Rams at the Falcon 25 as we approach the 2.5-minute mark here in the first half. Nichols throws to his right. This time Lara makes the catch, wrapped up pretty much immediately by Santana, but it is a gain of 5 for Framingham State.
We were talking about with E.J. Nichols how he was a converted quarterback from wide receiver, and he's looked very comfortable in that position as a quarterback. Now, he's a junior, but he has been with the Framingham State program going back to 2019. So it's been quite a while since he was ever tasked with playing quarterback, if he ever was, back in high school, back at Millville High School in the area of Burlington Township, New Jersey.
Second down handoff goes to Ford. This time Isaiah Johnson comes from the defensive left side, wraps him up in the backfield. It's actually a loss of a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Rams.
Silver lining and a bit of success there. Framingham's done very well in their third down conversions, 3 for 5 thus far. And yeah, Johnson just coming in from the side. In that particular case, Ford didn't see him. Or the
third down and 4 for Framingham State. Nichols is passed to the far side. I believe that's Ford's first catch of the day, but he's just as effective a receiver as he is a rusher. Touchdown, Framingham State. Devon Ford, a 20-yard touchdown catch and run. 4th score of the first half for Framingham State. It is 25-0.
Ford's 5th catch of the season finds pay dirt. Just get the ball to him. And they've done a good job in doing that. And even this time through the air, Terry Smith is the holder this time.
And the extra point is up and through. So as we suspected, the Ford hold last time was purely for the sake of the 2-point conversion attempt. 26-0 Framingham State after the touchdown. Take a look at it again. There's just nobody there. And then when the guys get there, Ford makes a miss.
He's got all his cheat codes loaded into his Game Shark. And he's happily using them today.
If you want a positive sign for Fitchburg State, Dan, and this is mostly just things could be worse. We've been watching Rocky Marchitelli on the near sideline as he's been tended to by the training staff. They had some ice on his knee. They've now wrapped that knee, that left knee of Marchitelli, in an ace bandage. He's up, he's moving around. I'm not saying he's going to be back because, he doesn't even have his helmet with him or anything like that. I think if we're going to see Rocky Marchitelli in this game again, it's going to be the Falcons' first possession of the third quarter. But we'll see. Still 1:03 to play in this one. High end-over-end kick taken in by Santana at about the 16-yard line. This time he gets good blocking across the 30 to about the 34-yard line before being speared backward. Best return of the day for Richard Santana. Sets the Falcons up with good field position if they want to try something. 55 seconds left and a timeout, and you're backup quarterback in the game, and this entire game turning into one of the bigger disasters of your otherwise promising young season, but hey, why not?
It was a good run back, definitely the best of the day for Santana until he ran right into the arms of Robbie LeBeau III. Took him down with authority.
Do you have to respect that amount of authority?
Well, when you're going down to the floor like that, I guess so.
Cosner will go from the shotgun. He's got Fatoki to his left. 1st and 10 Falcons at their own 35-yard line. And it's a handoff up the middle to Fatoki. Try to make something happen. And I think if the decision to head into the locker rooms wasn't already made when they came onto the field, it's been made for the Falcons after a gain of nothing on 1st down.
Another tackle from Martino. That'll be his 5th on the contest.
Time enough for one play. It's another handoff to Fatoki. Plunges forward into the line. Gain of a yard, and there are a bunch of green jerseys already heading to the sideline, and Zach Shaw just gestures, yeah, let's head in. Let's go into the locker rooms. Let's rethink everything for a moment, and let's come back out and play 2 quarters of hopefully better football. I don't think there's any way to sugarcoat it, Dan. This 1st and 2nd quarter today was bad.
It's not gone to plan compared to what we've been seeing out of the Falcons the last few games this season. The Falcons have had a lot of struggles in moving the football. Part of it also comes down to Rocky Marchitelli leaving the game with an injury.
It's very difficult when your freshman starting quarterback, who has been the focal point of your offense, goes down with an injury on your first drive. I'm not saying it was easy and the Falcons messed it up. It's been a very hard situation. They're up against a very good team who's playing very well, and also Fitchburg State is hurt.
There is that, and then think about this is the second straight week in which the Falcons are facing the reigning offensive player of the week in the backfield. It was Adam Couch last week, and the Falcons did a good job containing Couch, but Ford is just on a completely different level, and the Falcons have had no answer from him. 17 carries, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and a 19-yard touchdown catch. Ford has just been a dynamic, as advertised, player for Framingham State and breaking the game for the Rams. If Ford's not in this game, this is probably a much closer, much different game. But then again, Joshua Ramos was running the ball quite well in his 3 carries too. So who can say?
We were saying, Dan, that Devon Ford is playing this game on easy mode. He's got his Game Shark working. Here's another gamer term. At a certain point, it's a skill issue. The Rams are, I don't think this is a controversial statement, better at football than the Falcons.
Yep.
They're a better team. They're playing better. They've had everything go their way. It's been a dominating performance for Framingham State, and they go to the locker rooms with a well-deserved 26-0 lead.
The Falcons are definitely coming into this game maybe hoping they could break some long losing streaks. They've lost 13 in a row to Framingham State. They've lost 14 in a row overall. They've lost 20 conference games in a row. But it seems at this pace, the only streak that's going to end is that they've led in 5 games in a row.
It would be quite the story if the Falcons lead in this game. But hey, anything is possible. Folks, come on back for the third quarter of action. Dan and I will take the halftime break with the players and then bring it all to you from Elliott Field. It's College Football Saturday here on FATV. Back here at Elliott Field, getting ready for the second half of action here on College Football Saturday on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined as always by Dan Bolak. Dan, it is 26-0 in favor of Framingham State. And last week, the score wound up being a little bit of a blowout. Bridgewater State won comfortably, and we said at the top of the broadcast that wasn't really fair to the game the Fitchburg State Falcons played last week. This first half, 26-0, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, unfortunately, the matchup has just not been that favorable for Fitchburg State. Framingham has the green and gold red quite well. In terms of the numbers, 255 passing yards. One more will roll over. That's how it works, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. They'll get into negative passing yards after that.
Yeah, so 255 offensive yards for Framingham. Fitchburg has 23 yards from 22 plays, which is just a shade over 1 yard a play.
It's not good.
No.
Like first, you get 4 downs to go 10 yards, so you need to average the bare minimum. The table stakes is 2.5. But anyway, one of the reasons the Falcons have been so limited on offense was the very early injury to Rocky Marchitelli. You see him there, the Falcons' freshman quarterback, went down with a left knee injury early in the first quarter and has not participated to this point. I was about to say that he's got his knee wrapped up and he looks like he might be coming back out, but now he's putting on a blue bib, which, typically they don't let you play football if you're wearing one of those, and he is moving pretty gingerly, so it's looking like Rocky Marchitelli will play no further part, at least on the field. He's got the bib, he's got the headset. We don't know for sure until the Falcons take the field, but by all indications, it is Dylan Cosner's show for the rest of the game.
It means anything, Novak has removed his bib, so maybe he's passed the headset to Marchitelli. But nonetheless, Cosner was 1 for 6 for 3 yards and an interception, trying to find a deep ball that just wasn't there. Marchitelli had a couple of good runs, but then a sack that took him out of the game early on. The Falcons have gotten most of their success on the ground from Elijah Zaire McKnight. He's had 3 carries for 21 yards. And meanwhile, for Framingham, Devon Ford, it's been the Devon Ford show. 17 carries, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also, 1 catch for 19 yards that ended in the end zone as well. E.J. Nichols, the converted receiver to quarterback, has looked solid. 7 of 9 for 88 yards. And although 4 rushes for 1 yard, he's been doing well rambling. And he hasn't necessarily needed to be gambling either.
Not too much gambling for Framingham State. It's been a lot of sure bets, a very simple offensive approach, really. They haven't gone too deep into the playbook with any trick plays or that, but they've just been pure dominant when they've had the ball, and they will get the ball to start the third quarter. You see Momo Nazaire there, set back deep to return the kick. Framingham State's offense will come back out on the field. Falcon defense looking for a stop, looking for some positive momentum. But they have to kick it away to begin this third quarter. Falcons again in the all green with the green helmets. Framingham State in the white jerseys, white pants with black helmets. Jonah Costa's kick is away, taken in by Nazaire at about the 11-yard line. He's going to go all the way across field. He's across the 30, and he is going to be gone. Momo Nazaire, one man to beat. Valves doesn't have the angle. Touchdown, Rams. Dan, we were thinking Framingham State's powerful offense might march them all the way down the field on this first possession of the third quarter. Well, they didn't even need that.
Momo Nazaire's long kick return of the season was 30 yards. He's just about tripled that with one run.
89 yards for Momo Nazaire, the senior from Somerville. Take another look at it. Takes it in on the near sideline at the 11-yard line, gets great blocking and finds the hole. He never has to break a tackle. It's all down to the blocking and his vision to find the open lane, find the space, and get in for the touchdown. Now Farley on to attempt the extra point. High snap, managed to get it down, did Terry Smith. Farley boots it through. So if you're a little bit late getting back from the halftime break, you've missed another touchdown. It is 33-0 in favor of Framingham State.
Last time these two teams played, 47-0 was the final, but in that game, there were some agreements, if you will, to shorten that game.
I see.
But thinking to other things too, we were talking last week about Marchitelli's 263 passing yards, and so I did some research, and I'm not going to waste this. When was the last time the Falcons had thrown for that many passing yards in a game? Because we felt it'd been a while.
I'm going to guess. I think you got to go back to Garrett Delakiai. I don't think they've had a quarterback do it since him.
Well, it turns out Delakiai was the last to throw for 300 in a game, but the last quarterback to throw for 225 yards in a game, yes, I could lower the target because that's how rare it is. It was Connor Fitzsimons.
Okay.
He did it at WestCon in a 41, did it at WestCon 2017 in a 55-34 loss, 22 for 41, 272 yards, 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The last 300-yard game, 57-30 in 2015, was also a game at WestCon.
Richard Santana backpedaling to about his own 2-yard line as he returns this kick across the 25, spins forward toward the 30 before being driven down. We will see the Falcon offense come back out onto the field, and you know who's wearing the bib and the headset now? It's Dylan Cosner. Dan, I think we're going to see Marchitelli back on the field.
Falcons only have 3 rostered quarterbacks. Actually, number 15 is taking to the field.
Hey.
Raymond Luxury Yacht is out there for the Falcons.
Aha, I see. We do not have a number 15 on our rosters, so let's improvise here. The Falcon quarterback to be named later is in the shotgun. He's got Oreo Wikite Fatoki to his right, and unfortunately it's a pass for this unnamed gentleman on first down. He'll scramble forward and be German suplexed down right at the line of scrimmage.
At some point, the wonderful sports information staff here of Travis Yard and Jamie Rogers will help us out.
At some point, one hopes.
But until then,
Dan, talk to the people. I'm going to talk to the folks here.
Emoji shrugs for us. I mean, that's what happens, I guess. You know, we saw Novak had the bib on earlier. Marchitelli has the bib on now. Cosner has the bib on now. If everybody's got the bib, somebody has to step up. So second down. Luxury Yacht with the pass. It's just through the hands of Quincy Taylor. In and out of his hands and incomplete.
Dan, I have done an investigative journalism.
All right.
Nobody knows.
We're going to have to run with this, aren't we?
Raymond Luxury Yatch is the starting quarterback for the second half for the Fitchburg State University Falcons until we find out differently. Travis is on it.
Investigative journalism will continue on here at Elliott Field.
I have sources, by which I mean ears.
So, third down, you want this one or no? I'll take it.
I've got it.
All right.
Third down and what is it, 11? Third and 11 for the Falcons. Luxury Yatch back to pass, looking long, floats it to the right side, passes high, and it is caught by a Ram. Was he inbounds? Yes! That is an interception for Framingham State.
And once again, it's Momo Nazaire.
Man is everywhere. He's got a kick return touchdown now. He's got himself a pick. Did he have the pick earlier too?
No, he didn't.
He did not, but he has this one. You know who did have the pick is the other defender who was right there, Devin Johnson.
Nazaire, a solid defender as well. That's his first interception of the season, had 13 tackles, the former Somerville Highlander.
Rams offense back out on the field for the first time this quarter. Devon Ford back in the backfield. He'll get the first down carry. Looking to his right, there's a flag down in the backfield, possibly indicating a foul against the Rams. Ford's brought down after a gain of a couple.
Take the penalty. This will hurt his average.
So, Dan, I know you've done this before, but it's been a while. Could we explain, for the folks who don't know, Raymond Luxury Yatch?
So, first off, we'll let Joseph Wallace explain the penalty.
Holding. Offense, number 39. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, down as 1.
So it's a very rare situation that occurs when a player appears in a game whose number is not on the roster and has not been made aware of to us before the contest. Raymond Luxury Yatch is a Monty Python reference.
Yes. You may remember back in the day, Dave Clark and Mike Flynn would always refer to Ed Reynolds. Same guy. It's his brother, actually.
Pass on the far side is complete to Devon Ford. He's lost the football. Fitchburg's making a claim that they've got it, and that claim is valid. Falcon ball.
Big swing in momentum for the Falcon defense. They weren't able to stop the kick return, but they are able to stop the Ram offense, get a turnover, get the ball in Framingham State territory.
Looks like Devin Current is going to take the acclaim on this one. Jalen Miller, I think, steps up and forces the fumble. Him and Gabe DaCosta. And Current's able to jump on the football out around midfield, put it right on the 50-yard line. And the Falcons have forced a turnover. It's their 7th fumble recovery of the season. They actually lead the MASCAC in fumble recoveries.
Spot the ball right at midfield. Falcons will go from the shotgun. And we get a flag. Is that the play clock running out? That is the play clock
Delay
running
of the
out.
game. Offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Down as 1.
So 5-yard penalty on the delay of game. Sets the Falcons up now 1st and 15 at their own 45. Play action fake. Luxury Yatch looks to his left, under pressure, got to get rid of it, throws across his body over the middle, pass is low and incomplete. He was trying to find Quincy Taylor. I heard and I see that there is a penalty flag down on the field.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Hit to the head. 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
A blow to the head was delivered as Luxury Yatch tried to get rid of it. We'll take another look here.
Scrambling, stepping up in the pocket. You can see the big freight train, number 92, hands to the head there.
Yep. It's okay to get your hands up, and you're not necessarily against the rules to hit the quarterback after he throws it, but you can't hit him in the head like that.
Sean Ash, the sophomore from Framingham, is the guilty party.
Gives the Falcons 15 yards and a fresh set of down. 1st and 10 Falcons on the Ram 41. Oriel Wakite Fatoki, the ball carrier. He's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage, loss of about half a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 11 for Fitchburg. Dan, I've done an investigative journalism. Someone in this press box knows who the quarterback is. It's not me, but I know someone who does.
That name will be delivered to us very shortly.
Absolutely.
And we shan't have to continue using this placeholder name.
2nd down and 11. Empty backfield as Easy McKnight splits out as a wide receiver to the right. Luxury Yatch takes the shotgun snap. Pass over the middle is complete to Taylor. Dragged down from behind after a gain of about 10. Best catch of the day for Quincy Taylor, the senior from Boston. Sets up 3rd down and short.
And then being wrestled down by Donald Najam, graduate student from Waltham. Just able to truck and churn his feet downfield. Get a good number of yards for the first, not for close to a 1st down.
McKnight sets up to the left of the quarterback in the backfield. And we get whistles and a timeout called by the Falcons. 3rd down and 1 coming up.
Fitchburg.
Timeout with 11:42 to go in the 3rd quarter. 33-0. Framingham State in front. While we have a moment, let's thank our FATV underwriters.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions for the 2023 sports season are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Leominster Credit Union, the Sentinel Enterprise, and Minuteman Press.
33-0, and one of the thoughts, a couple of years ago we did a couple of soccer games during the pandemic, and me and John Grugerty did a couple of games in post production where we were doing the commentary over everything, and there was a goal scorer with a number whose name was not on the roster, so we were thrown in. So that was the worst situation up until now.
Third down, Easy McKnight gets the ball, and he gets himself a 1st down. And Danny, I have done an investigative journalism. Are you ready for this? Kareem Rose.
You know what the worst part is?
The fact that neither of us has ever heard of Kareem Rose, and we don't know anything about him besides his name, his number, and ostensibly his position.
No, the worst part is if you look at my roster, he's at the bottom of it with no number. Well, this is the dumbest thing I've done this week.
Kareem Rose, sophomore quarterback, Southbridge, Massachusetts. How about that?
All the information was there, just not his number. Process of elimination should have figured that out.
Rose under a lot of pressure on 1st down. He is hit. He's lost the ball. That's still live. Rams don't know it, and I think they've fallen on it. Just as we figure out who to give credit for this promising drive for the Falcons, it all falls apart. Rose is hit, loses the football, and Framingham State recovers.
Thought that ball came out really, really late too, but Rose just immediately under pressure. Didn't really have much of a chance to do anything. He's going backwards, down to the ground. Ball comes out pretty close to him coming down to the ground, but
Rams 1st and 10, Fitchburg 49.
Rose never had time to get rid of the ball. Rams were all over him. Couldn't hang on to it after he took the hit. Results in a turnover. Framingham State back out on the field. 1st and 10 for them at the Falcon 49. Handoff goes to the right side. He'll never get Stan. It's Devon Ford. He picks up about 7.
Never need to guess about his identity with how dominant he is running the football. Closing in at 150 yards on the day. Yeah, Rose was a later add to the roster, but he hasn't been given a number as far as we knew until now.
Well, we figured it out.
We did. We flailed around tremendously trying to get there.
We did. Second down 3, handoff goes to Devon Ford. He plows through the middle. Great blocking by the Framingham State line. Stop the clock, move the chains. It's first down Rams.
Nothing fancy really required out of Framingham. Just try to drive it up the middle, create a hole, manufacture something.
You know what I just noticed, Dan? This is a cute little piece of character. So Jaden Lewis, the receiver for Framingham State, he's wearing one of those, heavy back pads that, a lot of football players do, but he's got his jersey pulled up so that you can see the back of the pad just above his waist. You know what he has written on the back of his pad? In big, bold, black text, he's got the word bye.
Oh.
First down handoff goes to Ford up the middle. He gains himself a few yards. So Jaden Lewis, when he makes the catch and he burns a quarterback and he's sprinting off downfield to the end zone, he has a message for the defenders who are chasing him. Bye.
With an exclamation point too.
I like that. That's cute.
It's not a simple understated bye. It's a bye.
Yeah.
I gone.
Little modified Hawk Harrelson there. Not he gone, I gone. I like it. Second down and 9 after a gain of only a yard for Ford as we duck under 9 minutes to play here in the third quarter of what, if you haven't figured out by our commentary, has become a blowout. Nichols play action pass, managed to avoid one Falcon, can't avoid another one. He's hit from behind. I think he made Topkin miss initially, and then Topkin was the one who came back and got him in the end.
It was Kamar, actually. It was Topkin he was trying to juke around, and Kamar had missed so badly, but then he had time to get back up and get back to it, and then get Nichols from behind. So he missed his mark originally, but then he was able to come back, second chance. Took advantage of that time.
Absolutely right. Mo Kamara, the grad student from Baisley, New York, made that sack. Loss of a couple sets up third down and 11 for Framingham State. Given the field position on the Falcon 37, I would think they'll probably go for it if they get anything positive here. But first, with the play clock running down, Framingham State will take their first time out of the half.
Framingham.
Just looking through my stats, see what stats haven't I used yet?
Probably some. One of the beautiful things about working with Mr. Bolak is that he is over-prepared for pretty much every situation.
We did talk about 14 straight losses for the Falcons, the third longest losing streak in Division III football. The two longer ones are from Lawrence University out in Appleton, Wisconsin. They are the Vikings, 16 straight losses. And Albright out in Reading, Pennsylvania, the Lions have lost 21 consecutive games. There was another team in that list in the middle of them. It was Capital, the Comets of Columbus, Ohio, but they beat Otterbein of Westerville.
And folks, we want to let you know that you can watch FATV programming in high definition on all those devices you see on your screen, your Fire TV, Roku, and Apple TV devices, and of course in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Third down and 11, E.J. Nichols wants it all. Beautiful pass to the end zone. Catch is made just shy of the goal line, actually, but still a tremendous catch by Manny Lara. They've tried that big gainer to Lara a couple of times. This time it connects. It'll be first and goal, for Framingham State.
It's that deep ball. Nichols 9 for 11 passing today, now well over 100 yards. Another great catch by Lara for his fourth of the day, but by far his biggest.
Mark him out of bounds at the 8-yard line. It'll be first and goal, Framingham State from there, as we are halfway through the third quarter. Rams looking to go up by a fourth order of... No, that would be wrong, actually. Ford gets the carry on first and goal, as I embarrass myself. Gets across the 5-yard line to about the 2. It'll be second and goal from there.
Another one of the terrible feelings of a broadcaster is about to mention an interesting statistic, and you think about it while you're saying it, and you realize that fails a sanity check.
Yeah, oh no, that's very wrong. That's not what an order of magnitude is. That means a different thing. It would be at least regional news. if Framingham State put up 10,000 points. That would be a mildly important development. Second down and goal for the Rams. Ford in the backfield. Play action fake. Nichols rolls to his left, wants to throw for it, still wanting to throw for it. Pass to the end zone is incomplete. He was trying to find Jaden Lewis. There were plenty of bodies in and around him, however.
The play action was sort of forced because Nichols actually bobbled the snap. He had trouble. He was hot potatoing the football and having trouble controlling it. So by the time that he could actually do anything with it, he couldn't really hand it off to Ford at that point, so he just ran for it and then tried to get that pass off to Lewis, and he was well covered there. Good coverage by Vals.
Good improvisation there. Third down and goal from the 3. Ford looking for a hole, nothing doing this time. He is blown up in the backfield. Gabe DaCosta with the hit. Falcon defense standing tall here on the goal line.
Big tackle on that goal line stand.
See DaCosta coming in from the right side. Just great fundamental football there. He squares up, he goes low, wraps up the legs, and drives down. That's how they teach you to tackle. Was very effective there. Now 4th and goal from the 4. It would actually be rubbing more salt in the wound to kick, I think. So the Rams will go for it. High snap, and we get whistles and flags. That'll kill the play.
Nichols was quite cross with what happened there.
Oh, he's not happy.
Spiked the ball in frustration.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Down is still 4.
So false start will back the Rams up 5 yards. It'll be 4th and goal from the Falcon 9 now.
Remember last time Nichols was here 2 years ago, he played a tremendous quarter of football. He then got thrown out of the game.
Well, that's not good. You shouldn't ought to do that. He's played, well, he's been part of two and most of a third tremendous quarters of football here.
Well, this is the 3rd time Nichols has played Fitchburg State, but because of the way, pandemic and not playing last year, it means that he's only ever played Fitchburg here in Fitchburg. And you can see Joseph Ballas, the referee, having discussions with Mark Sullivan and Zach Shaw.
There's no flag on the play. No flag on the play.
So they've picked up the flag, decided there was no false start. So it'll be back to 4th and goal from the 4. Alrighty. Folks, if you're confused at home, I'm confused here. 4th and goal for the Rams from the 4-yard line. Nichols will throw for it. Pass to the end zone is incomplete. Well defended there. Richard Santana rightly pleased with himself. He's trying to find Darrell Coombs. First time we've called Coombs' name today.
He's a junior from Waterbury, Connecticut. Graduated from the Waterbury Career Academy. And majoring in child and family studies. And I believe Framingham State spelled studies wrong.
Well, you know.
That's a pure copy and paste job on my roster, so.
Okay.
I'm not taking blame for that. You could probably go to Framingham's website right now and find the same typo.
Falcons gifted the ball back, but it is at their own 4-yard line. Kareem Rose, 3rd-string quarterback, hands it off to Fatoki, going to his right. Big hole for Oreo Wakite Fatoki. His best run of the game gets him out across the Fitchburg State 25. Gain of about 23 yards for him.
If Fatoki can ever get the space, he has the ability to run. Just trying to go up the middle so often, the holes have not been there. But Fatoki found a lot of space on the right side. It was only Momo Nazaire's play. Nazaire has been figuratively everywhere in this 3rd quarter. I can't say literally everywhere. That would imply issues with physics.
Yeah, would mean he's a very large man. Difficult to sustain that much energy for that long. First and 10 Falcons at their own 27. Rose has Fitoki to his left as he goes from the shotgun this time. Looking to his left, passes high, but it's caught by Taylor, and he is hit low, able to hang on and make the reception. Quincy Taylor took a hard hit to the legs and hit the ground with a thud. He is very slow to get up. The officials will stop the clock and make sure that he's attended to.
That's the type of rough tackle going low like that, that if this was rugby union, that would be a red card and a sending off for taking a man out in the air like that and having him land in a terrible position. But that's a great pass over. You know, he gets up, gets there, and he's just not really able to get to the ground before John Burke takes him out.
Burke just lowered the shoulder and basically went for the knee. Taylor was able to get up and walk off under his own power. He's kind of doubled over on the near sideline, but he is standing. We will keep an eye on him. Fitoki gets the second down carry. Good blocking in front of him this time, and he's got himself a first down. I think I saw Burke getting into it with Kevin Vieira.
It's a game where the Falcons' depth has had to be sorely tested, and the Falcons only have a 61-man roster, which doesn't make things that easy. They haven't seen much of P.J. Norden today, but he's now out there on the far side, had the touchdown catch last week.
Rose will go with Fitoki on his right. 4 receivers for Fitchburg State. Rose throws to his right, pass is batted down at the line. And getting his hands up on it was Attaboy Oirambe. Oirambe, the senior D lineman from Revere. He will earn himself some attaboys when he gets back to the sideline.
6'4", 290, blasting through the line. Doesn't have a pass breakup credited this year. 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and a blocked kick. But I think he'll happily add to his account another statistic.
Absolutely.
Another column to fill up.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road? No, that's a song. Second down and 10. Rose hands off to Fitoki, running to his right. He breaks through the line on second effort. That looked like it was going to be blown up for almost no gain. Instead, Oreo Wakite Fitoki is able to gain 6 yards out of it.
Strong change of direction, found a path forward. Right to the 44-yard line, 6 yards gained, and brings up a manageable third down situation.
Almost a face mask, too, at the end there. Donald Najam very nearly grabbed at Fitoki's face mask, managed to pull his hand back at the last second. Quincy Taylor is back in the game, so good to see he's recovered from what looked like a potentially scary injury. Rose wanted to go that way on third down. Instead, his pass is very nearly picked off. Was trying to hit Matty Ayire. You know, Dan, we haven't called Ayire's name really at all today. Part of the reason for that, I bet, is that Momo Nazaire was all over it.
That's something I've been very impressed with today, has been Framingham's pass defense. It's been very challenging to find open receivers downfield. Something Fitchburg was able to take more advantage of last week against Bridgewater. But this week, Framingham really shoring up the passing defense. Coming into today, Framingham was better at stopping the run game than the pass game. 167 yards a game and conceded to 82 rushing yards a game conceded.
Falcons looked like they were going to go for it on fourth down, but now we have a timeout.
Fitchburg.
Timeout called by the Falcons as they get ready for the play call on fourth down. Folks, that wasn't us. That was the ref. I'm sorry. It'll be, as I said, 4th and 4 for Fitchburg State. I mean, Dan, at this point, why not send your offense out to go for it? You know, what's the worst thing that happens? Framingham State gets the ball back and scores?
What is the difference, figuratively, between a 33-0 deficit and a 40-0 deficit?
Not much.
Both, in both cases, making a comeback from here is going to make SportsCenter. So
that's true. We are approaching legitimate historic territory. which, you know, I mean, makes the fact that the Falcons are going to win this game all the more impressive after all, right? Right? No?
Yes, I hope so.
No. I mean, listen. If only for the seeing of a truly interesting and novel thing, it would be neat if the Falcons win this game. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. You know. If it's going to happen, it all starts here. 4th and 4 for the Falcons. They're at their own 44. They need the 48. Rose from the shotgun, looks to his left, passes to the left, and that's caught by Matty Aguirre. First catch of the game for him, gets into Rams territory. Aguirre wants a flag as he was hitting the head going down. He's not going to get that, but he is going to get a first down. Move the chains for the Falcons.
Also, you don't really think of it too much. That was the first completion to someone who wasn't Quincy Taylor. Taylor had all 3 receptions before that one. But Aguirre has had a couple of balls thrown to him in this contest, able to haul that one in and convert the 4th down.
1st and 10 Falcons at the Framingham State 48-yard line. Kareem Rose, the quarterback, goes from the shotgun. Play fake, pump fake. Now he's going to tuck it and run. He's got legs. He's across the 45, and he gets out of bounds at about the Framingham State 40-yard line. Good gain for the sophomore QB, Kareem Rose.
He's a graduate of Doherty High School in Worcester. The playbook sort of, it's like there weren't too many statistics available on him. Had a couple of rushing touchdowns, I believe, with the Highlanders in his last season with them, but he was battling with a lot of quarterbacks, including Noah Callery, who had a tremendous career for Doherty. But Rose getting a chance to prove his worth here on this stage. Able to scramble for a big gain on 1st down.
2nd down and 2. Rose straight drop, looking long to the right. Pass is a little bit overthrown, and it was incomplete. Aguirre wound up playing defensive back, as the closest man to it was Devin Johnson. That would have been Johnson's 2nd pick of the game. Instead, it falls incomplete.
Johnson frustrated with that turn of developments, but yeah, where that ball was going, looking at the rolls there, it really did look more like Aguirre was defending the pass than he was trying to receive it.
3rd down 2. Aguirre lined up in the near slot. Taylor split out far left. 2 receivers up at the top. Play clock's under 10. Rose takes the shotgun snap and hands it to Fitoki, who runs into a big pile of people. Fitoki spun down after a loss of a couple. Coming out of the play, Kevin Vieira wanted a flag on Adeboye Oyanbe. Vieira was thrown to the ground well after the play was over, so we may have had a case. Let's take a look at this, Dan. First of all, Fitoki just gets wrapped up in the line, and then after the play right there, Oyanbe just throws down Vieira for some reason. I mean, they're defensive linemen and offensive linemen. They're kind of natural enemies. It does make sense. Fitchburg State faces their 2nd, 4th, and 4 of the drive. Rose under pressure, rolls to his right, signals to his receiver, throws across his body, passes up and incomplete, intended for Aguirre. A massive collision. As the ball came in, there were 2 Falcons, 2 Rams. And as in nature, when Rams collide with Falcons, Rams win.
Turned into unlikely 2v2 coverage. Rose got that ball off the last possible moment. He realized he was not going to be able to run for it. Had to throw that ball downfield. And it goes off the fingertips of Aguirre, and then Taylor runs into him after the pressure there coming from John Burke and from Donald Najum.
Both Aguirre and Taylor were trying to get to the ball, but it falls incomplete. Falcons turn it over on downs. Now Framingham State back on the field. Nichols looking downfield. Now he's going to tuck it and run. He's got yardage in front of him. He's across midfield and will step out of bounds just past the 1st down marker. Or at least I thought it was just past the 1st down marker. They're going to mark him a little bit short. It's a gain of a 9. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
Just past midfield, but it was 1 yard farther than that where the marker stood. Nichols had to run such a distance just to get there. It felt like he might as well have earned the 1st down. Close but new cigar.
Had Cam Manette barreling down on him, decided to tuck it and run. Got out of bounds before he could take the hit. Play clock demands that the Rams run a play before the end of the quarter. They'll hand it off to Ford straight up the middle. And Dan, I would normally say that teams will change ends and will run the ball all the way down. They're not going to have to move the ball at all. They're just going to rotate the players. You spin about the ball, basically.
That's the perfect placement for three-quarter time. Just put it right on the ground and, yeah.
All right. It's like tennis. You're switching sides at this point. It's 33-love of Framingham. That's almost a score in tennis. Now we switch sides. Now, I know that in tennis you don't switch sides in the middle of the game, but folks, I need you to express humor in my joke. It's 33-0 and we're trying our best. Speaking of trying our best, why don't we thank the tremendous crew who make this broadcast possible. Our director today is Nate Glennie. Travis Falk is our head technician, without whom none of this would be possible. Jared Sutcliffe is running replay for us for the very first time. Thank you, Jared, for your tremendous work. And Dan, we have a host of camera operators today. Let me get through all of these. Keith DePerry, Isaiah Manuel, Mark Plummer, Seth Rigby, Evan Schockenbach, and Leo Wellock. Thank you all for your support and your help. FATV would be nothing without its volunteers, and we owe such a tremendous debt to everyone who works on all of our productions.
We thank them all. Nichols will take the snap and throw quickly right side. That is going to fall incomplete. After going off a hand or two or three, Maya had the best look of all, the freshman from Central Falls, Rhode Island. Hands to his head as it falls incomplete.
I believe this is just the second time today we'll see the punting unit for Framingham State.
Indeed. Jaden Lewis, who is a strong receiver from Fall River, has been the punter the last couple of weeks after Tyler Drynan started as such. Richard Santana back to receive this one, takes it on the hop at the 18-yard line. Wrapped up, and then he escapes on the far side to about the 29-yard line. Good run back for Santana after all of that, and the Falcons will have decent field position to start their next drive. Trying to get on the board with 14:43 to go in the fourth.
Santana had to backpedal a little bit to take this, but you see he makes a man miss there. He is almost blocked by his own teammate before finally using him to set a screen. Get a few more yards, get it out to the 30-yard line. That's where we'll see Kareem Rose and the Fitchburg State offense.
Falcons 69 yards from goal, see if they can put together a nice drive to try to get themselves on the board. Kareem Rose, the quarterback. I'm looking through binoculars, but I can see the face that you made. I know nobody else can.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to leave it at making the face.
Rose will get the handoff to Fatoki, but Martino blasting into the backfield again and take him down for a loss. Fatoki now 13 carries for about 33 yards on the day.
Dan, obviously it's a very difficult task for any team when you lose your starting quarterback early in the first quarter, but I think honestly, even if Rocky Marchitelli had been healthy and able to play this entire game, Framingham State's defense has just been so dominant. It would have been very difficult for Fitchburg State to put points on the board, even without all of the injuries that they've had.
Sometimes in terms of matchups, things don't quite go to plan. And sometimes there are just some matchups that don't work out favorably, as Rose in the pocket having a lot of trouble, had the umpire in front of him, who had to backpedal like crazy, and Rose is sacked. That's the 6th sack of the day for Framingham State.
This one from Tyrese Herring, the freshman from Delray Beach, Florida. He's going to come from the left side. You see him right here. He's got two guys there, but as Rose rolls out to his left, Herring is able to disengage his blockers and chase down the quarterback. It's a big loss. Call it now 3rd and 24 for the Falcons.
Falcons have to get to the 41-yard line for a first down. They are obviously far away from that. try to pull out some big play here. Rose in the pocket scrambling, able to get past the line of scrimmage running with it. But Sean Ash will take him down and lose his helmet for good measure. Finally had a lost helmet today.
We almost made it through a whole game without one, but, you know.
The number of lost helmets this season is 12.
That's too many.
I believe that's where the count is. Don't correct me if I'm wrong.
I think Rose kind of grabbed at, but then quickly released the face mask. Also, Tyrese Herring slamming Rose to the ground.
Challenging day for the Falcon quarterback core. McDonald gets the punt off high in the air. We'll look for a bounce that is favorable enough, but under pressure, getting it to the 46-yard line on their own side of the field will have to do. Framingham leads 33-0 with 12:23 to go. It's around this time, the last time Framingham State was here, that they decided to resort to shtick at that point of the game.
They decided to resort to shtick.
Yes.
How does a football team resort to shtick?
When a drive has 8 plays and 6 of them had holding on them.
Oh, that shtick. I do remember that.
First down, Ramos taking it right side. He's got a hole. He's got a lot of space, and he's got a touchdown. What a run there by Joshua Ramos. He's looked just as unstoppable as Devon Ford. The junior from Andover's got his first touchdown of the season, and the Rams are an extra point away from actually making it a tennis score.
Dan, you were talking about how Framingham State might resort to shtick. I think their shtick is just running it very, very well and scoring touchdowns with it. It's good. It's effective.
It's way better shtick than last time.
That's true.
Extra point by Farley is good.
It is indeed 40 love. Takes a lot more time to get to 40 love in football than it does in tennis, though. So, Dan, what's our next football broadcast here on FATV? I know the Falcons will be back on November 4th, but Fitchburg has a high school football team, right? They've been on the road for functionally forever.
Yep, next time out it's going to be on the 21st, the 20th. Yeah, it says the 7th. So, yes, the 20th.
Friday the 20th.
Friday the 20th will be the next football game here on FATV. The Fitchburg Red Raiders will be hosting the Wolves of Neshoba in a match between two teams that are going in the same direction at the very least, so it will be a competitive game.
There you go.
And then the following week, the Doherty Highlanders come to town, Kareem Rose's old side. That'll be on the 27th, and then playoff/consolation games to follow. And as we mentioned, on the 4th of November, it's the Wolves of Western Connecticut State University. 2 Wolves in the next 3 weeks coming to FATV. So we'll be taken in by Elijah Zaire McKnight. He's run one back for a touchdown before. Won't do it there, but a solid run back to the 30-yard line or thereabouts. Falcons will start this drive from more or less the same place as they started the last drive. Still looking for a score.
Watching Rocky Marchitelli as he's moving around on the sideline. He is limping pretty badly, so there was, it turns out, no chance he was coming back into this one. But hopefully the fact that he is at least up and moving around, you see him there, he's got the bib and the headset and obviously the wrap around that left knee. Hopefully the fact that he's up and moving around is a positive sign for the future. He'll be able to return next week for Fitchburg State.
Well, we hope they go up to Plymouth, who have not found themselves in the win column yet this season. First down, big throw downfield. Once a here, Gomez, they've got him! Being challenged there on the near side by Devin Johnson. Gomez wins that battle for his first reception of the game and a big completion for the Falcons.
Rose has tried that deep ball a couple of times. They were overthrown before. This one delivered perfectly. Gomez got a step on Devin Johnson. Was able to bring it in. I think that's the biggest play of the day for the Falcons.
I think there will be some meaning to this football life. They can score 42 yards from goal, or Ikite Fatoki taking it on first down, staying on his feet, and able to get past the 35-yard line. Give him to the 34, give him 8.
Good gain for Fatoki. Falcons mixing up the play calling on first down. A little bit of the pass, a little bit of the run. This time great blocking by the offensive line, and then the second effort by Fatoki results in a gain of about 7. Call it 2nd down and 3 for Fitchburg State.
Pretty sure that 28-yard completion to Gomez was, in fact, the high point of the day for the Falcon offense. Trying to reset that mark with something better. 2nd and 2. Rose going for another deep ball. Wants Gomez again battling for it. It's incomplete, but due to illegal actions by Devin Johnson, I believe.
Pretty much identical to the first play of the drive where they took the shot downfield to Gomez on the streak. This time they go for it again, and Johnson, he was beaten again. This time he committed a foul in order to stop the big play.
See them discussing it all there. There were 2 different flags thrown on that. We'll get the official call here.
Pass interference, number 24 in the defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
It'll be just the DPI against Devin Johnson. And since pass interference is capped to 15 yards, that's where it'll be. You can see Johnson's got a lot of Gomez's left arm. Makes it very hard to catch a football.
It is difficult. You know, you've got 2 hands and one guy is like, no, you can't use one of them. It's against the rules. You shouldn't do that.
Some are still able to do that even with an arm being held. I believe Odell Beckham Jr.
It's true. That has happened.
But still, the rules of football say that that's still way more difficult than it needs to be. Falcons will have the ball. They'll spot it at the 20-yard line. And a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10. Play action, Rose stepping up, rolling left side. And Martino's going to have yet another sack to add to his account.
Dan, is Kareem Rose wearing goggles, or are those just straight up eyeglasses?
Could not say for certain, but it does feel like he's got some eyewear going with that today. But yeah, Martino just breaking into the backfield again. 40 tackles from 4 games this year. That's a lot for a guy like him. But senior from Malden having another tremendous day on defense. Showing himself to be one of the best defenders in the conference. 2nd and a lot. Throw left side is nearly caught by Momo Nazaire, who's wearing the wrong color shirt. He had the best look of all in the dive. There was also a flag back in the backfield. So a whole lot of nothing good going on this play, and Rose coming off, he might have actually gotten roughed there.
Was thrown by the referee after the pass was thrown. Those 2 factors typically lead one to believe that it's going to be roughing the passer against Framingham State. Players are marching upfield, so it's going to be something against the Rams.
I'll put it to the 15, and the message has still not been delivered, but I think we all know that it is roughing the passer.
It's true. Let's take a look at it again while we wait for the official call. So after the play, might have been out of our shot, but Rose was hit as the pass was thrown. Kind of floated, fell incomplete. And we don't need to know. It's fine.
We can assume.
Yeah, it's first down. Framingham State did something bad.
Quick throw by Rose is incomplete. Wanted Gomez, but I think they had different routes in mind.
You see Rose immediately signaling to Gomez, trying to get on the same page, being like, I wanted you to run the post, and Gomez thought he was going to run an out or something like that. Falcons get the call from the sideline, get ready to line up, do it again on 2nd and 10.
And as we know, Rose was not on the 2-deep, so first down, Fatoki runs straight into a wall of Framingham. And at the end, he's like, I could have broken out of that. Couldn't you let me run a little more?
No, I don't,
Health and safety.
He's bigger than you. Guy that big's got you wrapped up, and if they don't blow a whistle, he was gonna choke slam that man if they didn't blow the whistle. So,
Attaboy Orambe had the wrap up there. 6'4", 290. Orambe is big.
Timeout. Fitchburg.
Fitchburg will call timeout, and the graphics will tell us that after this, they're not going to have any more stripes on the bar, meaning no more timeouts.
Falcons want to make sure they get their play call right. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, I used up pretty much everything except for mentioning, earlier this year we had Taylor Kraut on the field for the Falcons, 2nd woman in Fitchburg State history to play.
That's true.
And then a couple weeks later it was reported in the national media that a woman had played in a NCAA football game, and it wasn't her.
That's true. And they credited that woman with being the first. And it turned out that Taylor Kraut also was not the first.
Yep, because in 2021 here in Central Mass at WPI, Maria del Carmen Sacristian Benjay appears a wide receiver for the Engineers of WPI in a game. So the thing is, make sure, though, when a woman gets on the field and plays, make sure you celebrate that moment, for it is tremendous.
It's true.
Falcons have 3rd and 10, 15 yards from goal, 9:01 to go in the contest, trailing by 40. Rose looking to his right, will get a pass off. That's going to be caught by McKnight. He lunges for the goal line. He's in! Touchdown, Falcons! Elijah Zaire McKnight breaks up the shutout with 8:53 to go in the game.
And a crane kick for good measure as he heads to the sideline.
First career touchdown pass for Kareem Rose. There was a solid pass off. McKnight got in front of it, got that ball, and just lunged for the goal line and just got it across. Jonah Costa set to attempt the extra point here. Cosner will hold. Snaps down, kick is up, kick is good. Costa 6 for 6 on the campaign on extra points. Retains his perfection there. 8:53 to go, 4th quarter. Fitchburg State 7, Framingham State 40.
Take another look at the touchdown pass. McKnight running an out to the sideline and then just barely able to get the ball across the line, across the goal line. Momo Nazaire had gotten a hand on him. So if McKnight's knee or his backside or his elbow or anything else touched down, he would have been down right there. Of course, this being college, he would have been down either way. But he was able to get the nose of the ball across the plane of the goal line. Gives the Falcons their first points of the game. And Dan, obviously, it's garbage time. It's 40-7. It was 40-0. It was 33-0 for a very long time. The Falcons are not winning this football game, but these plays still matter, especially for a team that's trying to build momentum, trying to dig themselves out of the hole they've been in for the past few seasons, and just in terms of roster battling, right? I think today we've probably seen the Falcons get a new second-string quarterback, and that matters.
Trying to kick a little short, looking for Medina this time. He'll gobble in at the 25-yard line. And Medina now running parallel to the 30, trying to make his way to the far side. He gets spun down.
There's a lot of pushing and shoving happening away from the play. Costa, the kicker, getting into it with Alex Maya.
Battle the FSUs. A little bit of crossness between them.
Possibly the silliest reason for schools to hate each other, but you know. Can we collectively hate Florida State?
Yes.
Okay. Good. I like that. What about Fordham Scientific?
I don't think it's a real school.
So?
First down, Kevin Leal's the quarterback now for Framingham. So it goes out to the far side. Ramos continues to still move the ball with regularity, basically.
Tremendous success for him on his carries. Devon Ford made a bid to get MASCAC Player of the Week honors for a second consecutive week, but Joshua Ramos has also done a tremendous job running the ball.
He's got a touchdown on the ground today from 46 yards. Adds to his account, and he's approaching 100 yards rapidly himself. Fresh set of downs to the 43-yard line. Ramos remains in the backfield with Leal taking the snap, hands it off. And again, someone's going to find a way to stop him, or he's just going to do that. He's well into Falcon territory past the 40. McGarrett gets the tackle.
It's a huge hole initially for Ramos, but then once he gets into the second level, he's just so fast and quick, able to make defenders miss, get into the open field. If you see a team leading by 33 points rather, this deep in the game, moving downfield in chunks, you might be inclined to tell them to stop, pouring it on. Framingham State's just handing the ball off. What do you want him to do, Neil?
The number 2 running back's that efficient, then yeah. Let's see, Ramos is going up the middle, gets another solid yardage. They don't really act like it's any different than if it's Ford running.
Dan, the player's lost his helmet.
Yep.
It's Gabe DaCosta. Credit for the tackle. Also got his face on TV, so hey, good for him. Has to go to the sideline, put his hat back on, though.
Yep. Kevin Leal, freshman from Cambridge, Mass. He's a graduate of Cambridge, Ringe, and Ladin. That's a merger of multiple schools. That's how they have that name. They are also the Falcons.
Hey, how about that?
One of these days, maybe I'll have all of the mascots in the state memorized. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working on it. 2nd down and 5. It's going to be another handoff to Ramos, and another hole up the middle, and another 5 yards, and another first down.
If it's right there, you might as well take it. Falcon defense needs to stand strong and wrap up the ball carrier if they want to keep Framingham State from getting back into the end zone.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's not like the Rams are trying to run it up, but right now Ramos is finding so much success. They just keep giving him the ball, and he just keeps getting a bunch of yards.
No, and Framingham State has not done this with trick plays or gadgets or anything like that. They've barely gone play action, really.
Another handoff to Ramos to the right side. And McGarry's first to arrive. He'll take him down with DaCosta's newly secured helmet. Saw him also grabbing his helmet just for good measure. It's strapped on, right? It's still on, right?
Make sure. Listen, we've seen enough helmets flying off of enough heads here at Elliott Field. Make sure.
It's a loose helmet pandemic here.
It's a much better pandemic than other more recent pandemics.
The best pandemics are the ones that you can laugh about.
That's true.
And there's very few that you can. 2nd down. Another handoff. Different running back this time. And he blasts up with a cut. Give that to Jarvin Simon, freshman from Lynn.
And Dan, as the Rams go deeper and deeper into their depth chart, at the running back position, and they continue getting these big gains in yardage. You just have to be so impressed with the play of the offensive line for Framingham State. You know, Shavanis Pamphile has had a great game. Abduli Fadila has had a great game. Just tremendous work by those guys on the offensive line. Bryant Bowman as well. Just, they've all played so well.
And that's just such a huge impact to the game. We've been talking so much about how if the Falcons had a stronger offensive line, more experience, more size, that they would be more successful. And right now, Framingham has found that success with their offensive line. I can tell you, if the Falcons had the line that Framingham had, they would not have a 0 in the win column.
You can see it just as the players are coming to the line, and it's been noticeable on both sides of the ball for Fitchburg State. One of the things that you need to do, and that's a challenge for Zach Shaw as he tries to rebuild this program, is you've got to get these, you know, super talented, super athletic, but also just the size is such a staggering difference between the size of the Framingham State offensive line and the size of the Falcon defensive line.
Change up running backs, another new carrier on first down. Burmester able to break into the backfield.
Antonio White, the freshman from Barnstable, with that carry. But when you are an undersized defensive lineman, and it's not like the Falcons don't have guys, right? You know, they have players, they're doing their best, but when you are, as a defensive lineman, so undersized and overmatched, it has to be dispiriting, it has to be demoralizing, and that's another effect of this just ground-based offense, just running it down your throat. It breaks you both physically and mentally over the course of a long drive like this.
Under 3 to go in this contest. Framingham on their way of getting back above 500. White will have the carry up the middle, breaks out of one tackle, finally wrestled down to the ground by DaCosta. Antonio White with a good gain inside the 10-yard line.
Rams are getting pretty much every running back they can into this game. I think they've hit everybody with an RB in their position except for Wood Joseph. We haven't seen him yet, but there's still time.
We'll switch it back to Jarvin Simon on what's 3rd and short. Kevin Leal calling out the signals, takes the snap, hands it off to Simon, cuts the left side, taken down inside the 5-yard line.
And again, it's, you know, 1 yard to gain. You know they're running it, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's so frustrating as a player. It has to be.
Under 2 minutes to play. The stick crew can take a break. It's 1st and goal, 4 yards from goal.
Fitchburg State has no timeouts, not that I think they would. Framingham State, if they wanted to, could just kneel on the ball and go home. And I think, well, they're going under center for, yeah, they're just going to do that.
They're satisfied with the outcome of this contest, up 40-7. They've made their point. 430 yards of total offense. And they know they don't need to go for it anymore. They don't need any more points.
So right before our last play here, I have to ask a question. Framingham State has had a tremendous game. They've played dominant football every side of the ball, pretty much every aspect they've dominated. They've obviously recruited and coached very well. They're a tremendous program at a great school, correct? Mm-hmm. Why can't they get Nolan Mulcahy a shirt that fits? All game, we've been looking at their center's gut.
Yeah.
And listen, it's probably a stylistic choice. At a certain point, I feel like someone should say, no.
You can see now any animosity between them. You can already see them. Pats and shakes. Framingham State, they spun their wheels a little bit. First 2 games of the season started out 0-2, but the Rams would like everyone to know they are not dead yet. a decisive 40-7 victory over Fitchburg State for their 14th consecutive victory over the green and gold.
A tremendous dominating performance on every side of the ball for Framingham State. A very well-deserved 40-7 victory puts the Rams at 3-2 on the season. One more time, folks, Fitchburg State will be on the road the next couple of weeks. They will be back here on Saturday, November the 4th, as they take on WestCon, but first they travel to Plymouth State and UMass Dartmouth before returning again on Saturday, November the 4th. But our next football telecast here on FATV will be not this coming Friday, but next Friday, October the 20th?
October the 20th. So again, Fitchburg High will be taking on Neshoba. Then they'll be taking on Doherty the following week from historic Crocker Field, and then back here to take on WestCon. You'll get your Wolves quota if you haven't already hit it up this year. The Wolves will be back in town not once but twice.
We look forward to that. We look forward to our next telecast. But before we go, we want to thank one more time our tremendous crew. Our director today was Nate Glennie, the executive director of FATV. Our lead technician today, Travis Falk. Replay operator was Jared Sutcliffe. And our camera operators today were our Keith DePerry, Isaiah Manuel, Mark Plummer, Seth Rigby, Evan Schockenbach, and Leo Wellick. Thank you again so much to all of them for all the work they do. For Dan Bolak, I'm John Gugerty saying we will see you next time right here on FATV.